let's talk how to start practice trading with real money. And I want you to start smart and put yourself in the best position possible to do this the right way. And that way you're not building bad habits, you're not catching yourself by surprise in negative types of ways, and that you're going about this strategy in the most effective, method possible. Now, what I want to do here is first start in front of the chalkboard, walk you through what I'll call the Dave method. So I want you to become friends with Dave, and then I'm going to take you to my desktop and I'm going to actually walk through it and do it myself in a real life environment. So I'll take you through, like I said, some theory here. I'll introduce you to Dave, and then I'm going to take Dave along with me and apply it to some of my trading as if I was a beginner. And that way you can see what I talk about play out in the real world of trading. So who is Dave? Well, when you are ready to start practicing with real money, because there is that phase where, yes, you can do stuff on the simulator, you can do stuff in, demo accounts and all that. And I'm not saying that's not valuable, but there is something to our mental makeup where when you see actual numbers flipping on the screen and those numbers mean something, meaning that's real money, that is your money, that's either rising or falling. I mean, it's going to bring about voices, emotions that simulator trading just is not going to be able to do. So that's why I want you to do this, and that's why I still consider it practice, because you want to practice in a smart way. So the first part of Dave is this. I want you to sit there and I want you to determine a certain number. And what do you determine? What is this number? Well, what I would call this right here. I don't care. Now, what don't you care about? An amount of money. The amount of money being if you lost it. And this sounds like such an ungrateful, it sounds like such a greedy, savage mentality. But it's got to be this way. It's got to be some sort of number where you literally sit there and say, I don't care if I lose that amount of money. Everybody's different. It's not going to be perfect, but don't worry. We'll take care of that. But you need to do your best to figure out the number out there that you just don't care. So, I mean, for an example, if I told you you're going to lose 10 cents, how do you feel about that? I would assume most people would say, yeah, Clay, I don't care if 10 cents falls on my pocket. Now, if you do care that 10 cents falls out of your pocket, I don't think trading's for you. I'd say you're a little bit too uptight about your money. But again, the number just needs to be something where I don't care. So for me, that number, and this is just, for me, it would be $100, right? If $100 disappears, I don't care. I mean, it's not really, I mean, that it's kind of a bummer, but like, if I'm being honest, and I get it makes me sound bad. It should make you sound bad where you're just like, I don't care. And for me, I don't care about $100. So we need to know that number. That's going to help us practice the right way. So the next part is this, and this is very, very important. So adjust. Now, what are you going to adjust? You're going to adjust this number up here, because you know what? And this will make sense, especially when we get to the V part next. But also, you need to realize that maybe you don't quite know. Maybe, for example, for me, I think that it's $100, but you know what? Maybe it's actually not. Maybe $100 is still going to freak me out. Maybe that's I'm giving myself a little bit too much credit. And you could very well do the same thing. I mean, that doesn't make you stupid. That just makes you a beginner, right? And when you're a beginner, you're just getting started in trading. Yeah, you're not really going to fully understand these numbers. So that's why I wanted to adjust. And what are you adjusting? How is this working? Well, you're going to take the $100. So whatever your number is over here, that could be, who knows what that number is, but you're going to take it and you're going to divide it by 2. And that means your actual number that you're going to work with moving forward is now going to be, again, in my situation, $50. So $50 is the true I don't care number, because again, we need to factor in and we need to hedge and mitigate against the fact that, again, being you're a beginner, you're not quite going to know that number. And then the next part here, which is the V. And this is where we're looking for, pretty sure that's not how you spell volatility, but you want to see volatility, meaning you need to determine, okay, well, how fast does a stock, does whatever you're trading, seem to have the ability to move? Is it a really fast moving stock? Is it a very slow moving stock? Is it kind of medium? But you need to gauge volatility. And this is something that is great practice. But again, because you are a beginner, because this is still practice, what could happen is you say, well, that stock's slower. But again, because you're still practicing, because you're still learning, maybe you get it totally wrong. And that's actually a super fast stock. If you were to operate under that number, then all of a sudden you could be looking at numbers way bigger than what you are okay with learning. But what did we do with the A here? Well, we adjusted. So that's also now covering the fact that, okay, yeah, you're still in practice mode in terms of determining volatility. You're still figuring out, you're still recognizing what to look for, what to pay attention to in order to determine just how fast a stock or an options or a future or a Forex pairing is going to be moving. So you got to practice that, very important skill. And you got to also realize that, okay, it might not be perfect. So that's why adjust. You got to make sure that you make that adjustment. And then the final part here, and this is the fun part, is okay, well, that's the worst looking E I've ever seen. It's now time to experiment, right? Or in other words, you need to go out there and actually practice. So you're going to actually get out there and start to trade and start to practice with that number in mind. And one of the things you need to do is determine how fast something is, because if a stock you think can easily move, let's just say $2. So let's say your determination is, wow, that stock could move $2 on me very quickly. Well, then how many shares should you actually be using? Well, you should only really be using, in this example, 2 shares, right? Because if it can move $2 very quickly and you're only willing to lose $50, well, then that's how that would add up. So again, and you'll see all this again on the screen, and I'll walk you through it again. But part of the experimentation is making sure you're getting what is known as your position size, right? You need to make sure that you're managing your money the right way. And once more, to really just reiterate the math, if you determine that you think a stock can move $2 very quickly, then, and if you know that you're willing to lose $50, then that's going to tell you how many shares you should actually take in the position, which would be 2, right? Because if you lose $2 per share, then that's going to get you to not 2 shares. You're going to be at 25 shares, right? Because if you have 25 shares and you lose $2 per share, then you're going to have the $50. So if you caught my error, leave me down in the comment section. Some of you are saying, wait, you're talking about 2 shares. No, I'm sorry. So again, 25 shares. And if, like I said, you think your risk is you could lose $2 per share, well then $2 per share times 25 shares gets you the $50. So again, I apologize for my mathematical error there. I could be clever and say, and I did it on purpose to see who was paying attention, but no, I just totally screwed that up. So that's how the math works, is figure out the key number, how fast is it moving, and then the first part of your practice, determine that position size, and everything will be different. So keep that in mind. And now that you've met who Dave is, let me introduce you to Dave in a more real-world practical setting. So let me take you to my desktop. All right, welcome to my desktop here. And right now I'm watching JKS. This is all live. I have no idea what's about to happen. But watching JKS and doing some quick analysis, it's looking like that I could lose potentially right around $1 per share. So think back to me at the chalkboard and saying, my number after going through that sequence is $50. So the way the math works is very easy. The first thing you're going to do is enter into your calculator or spreadsheet the amount that you're okay with losing. So in this situation, $50. You're then going to divide by whatever amount you think you could potentially lose. Like I said, in this situation, I could see myself losing $1 per share. So you're going to hit the divide button by whatever amount you think you could potentially lose, which tells me on this situation, I should be using 50 shares. Just for example's sake, let's say that I thought I could actually be losing $1.50 per share. Well, in this situation, again, start off with the amount that you're okay with losing, $50, and then you divide that by whatever amount you think you could lose per share. Like I said, in this made-up situation, I think I could potentially lose $1.50, which means I would then want to take 33 shares in the position. And then just to really hammer that home, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but just let you know that, this is straightforward. Let's just say that I thought that I could lose $3 per share. So in this situation, all right, well, how much am I willing to lose to begin with? Well, $50, that's what I'm willing to lose. And then what do I think I could potentially lose per share? Well, $3, so divide that by 3. And in that situation, I should be taking always round down, so 16 shares. Don't round up to 17, just do 16 shares. So that is how it's all working out here. And with that being said, I'm going to change this to the 50 shares here. Like I said, I'm thinking I could potentially lose, let's see, 66, yeah, probably even less than that. But what I would like to see here is a breakup over the 66.70 mark. Actually, let's just go 66.50. So like I said, this thing I'm thinking is either going to want to bounce or roll back over. So in at 66.50. And the goal here is you got to get used to this right here. This number right there. On paper trading, that number when it's fluctuating back and forth, that is, that can freak you out. That can be a situation where, things are getting scary, but you got to get used to it. You got to get used to it. All right. So that's the whole goal here is being aware of, and I might actually lose more, but I'm trying to talk, so I might not be actually able to get the buttons where I need to, but that's okay. Because in this situation, I'm just trying to but that's what I want you to get used to. And this wasn't necessarily the best trade of trades, but like I said, just to illustrate the point, that's what the whole goal is here. You to get familiar with how that feels, to watch money. Okay, I'm down 14. I'm down 10. Okay, I'm down 10. It's starting to go in my favor. Can we get a bounce? Now I'm only down $7.50. Now I'm down $1.50. Now I'm down 7. See how that's fluctuating? Now I'm down 6. Now I'm down 7. Now I'm down 3. Hey, I was almost at break even. That's the goal here. That's what you're trying to do. You are trying to get yourself in the mindset of what it feels like to see those numbers fluctuating all over the place. So that's the goal right now. Just to keep. Here we go. Watch. Down 9. Down 8. Down. Hey, I'm at break even. Look at that. I'm at break even. So now I'm feeling good. At least I'm back at break even. Hey, I'm up $5. Now, now I'm only up 1. Now I'm back to break even. Okay, now I'm back to 350. Okay, I'm making money. I'm up 550. All right. Fantastic. So you're feeling good. And you're going to say, come on, number, get bigger. Get bigger. Now, again, you're not doing this to make money. You're just doing it to get the feeling of how this all works and how this feels. Oh, now I'm only up 350. Oh. And I'm up 4. Now, I'm up 9. Okay, I'm up 7. See, that's the goal here. And then let's say you want to practice scaling out. Now, I'm not saying this is where you would want to scale out, but just for example's sake, okay, I just practiced some money management there. I just took off some of my position. So now I'm getting good practice in the world of, hey, you know what? Managing the position, scaling out. Again, I'm not saying that's where I should have scaled out, but just to drive the point across here, that's the idea. And now you can see it's still going in my favor. So the way this works is right now, I've already locked in $4.75, but open, I'm still actually up $9.50, $11. I'm still open. So you know what? Let's scale out some more. Let's practice that. Let me scale out 10 more. So there we go. Now I've scaled out another 10 shares, again, just in the spirit of practicing to making money. And now I've locked in $7.78. And here I am still up $6 on these shares. So I mean, just a classic bounce here. And I don't know, let's say I want to do 5 shares here on out now. So maybe I'm thinking, okay, I think this thing might want to roll back over. So let me just get rid of another 5 shares. There we go. Now I have 10 shares left. And maybe you're thinking, okay, well, I want to practice a limit order. So let me try to type in a limit order up at 67.15 to sell another 5 shares. So there we go. Now you're practicing a limit order, right? A limit order meaning you're only going to sell if it hits up at 67.15. Now, will it get up there? I don't know. But if this order here goes from white to green, that means I got filled. There you go. White to green. Now I just got some practice with a limit order. So now I've actually made $13, still have 5 shares left. And now let's do this. Let's practice, just with the stop loss. So I'm going to put my stop loss right there at $66.75. And I'm not saying that's a good stop loss, but now I'm getting practice. So stop and then sell. So now get it. Now I'm getting the feel of what it's like to watch a stop loss, put a stop loss in. Meaning if the price comes down to $66.75, I will be taking out with a profit for the remainder of my shares. But now let's say, all right, well, it's actually going in my favor. So what I'm going to do here is actually adjust this up. So I'm going to cancel that out, and let's make the stop loss now 67. So now my stop loss up there at 67, meaning if this comes down to 67, I'll be out. But who knows? Maybe this bounce wants to continue. And if it does, well then, hey, I'll adjust my stop loss once again. But now I'm getting practice in adjusting stop losses. And at the end of the day, it's still all about this area right here. Just molding your mind, meeting those voices, understanding the emotions that come when you see those sort of numbers fluctuate. Because paper trading, I get it. Well, paper trading will show me that. And you're right, it does, but there's no true emotions connected to it. So let's just say, and I'm making this up, if this thing goes up over 67.50, then you want to, adjust your stop loss once again to 67.25. So I want to practice that. So get that in there. But again, it hasn't gone up over 67.50 yet. But if it does, then you want to cancel. So now you're just getting practice, watching, okay, can it get up above 67.50? If it does, then it's time to, like I said, adjust that stop loss up once again. So now I'm getting practice and just watching that price, watching this. If this thing goes up over 67.50, then I will be adjusting my stop loss up. So that's what, okay, there it goes. So cancel that out. And now my stop loss is at 67.25. So notice, as this thing continues to go in my favor, I'm just continuing to adjust this up. Now let's say if this thing goes up over 68, I want to adjust this to 67.50. So that's the next thing I'm going to practice here. Now, hopefully this thing doesn't keep going up and up and up, or else it's going to be like the longest video ever. But if it looks like that, I'll just start to get super aggressive and make sure I get stopped out. But right now, we'll give it one more chance. Let's see if this thing can, like I said, can get up over 68. If it does, then fantastic. And I got to be honest, I'm glad I'm making money on the trade. I could have totally lost, but it was a good setup. Maybe not one that I would take all the time, but it was definitely good enough where I'm going to certainly take it for the purpose of this type of video. Now, of course, in hindsight, I'm like, man, Clay, you should have just gotten like 500 shares. But that's not the point of the video, Clay. I'm talking to myself right now, and also stalling to see if this thing wants to get up above 60. Oh, it's approaching my stop loss. So now you got to watch that. If that turns to green, that white to green, that means I've been taken out. And I'm out there. So there we go. The trade is out. I got to, and like I said, that was, all not necessarily, I definitely didn't know what was going to go on, but fantastic example, and walked away with $16. Now, is $16.50, like, am I going to go Rolex shopping right now? No, absolutely not, but that is not the idea. The idea here is to practice with real money. Practice all the different order entries, practice maneuvering, practice scaling out, practice putting in stop losses. And the main thing, again, practice watching that number right there as it fluctuates up and down, up and down. If you've never done it with real money, I promise you it is going to play mind games with you, but you need to just start to get used to it and start to just stay calm. Yeah, I mean, it was a little scary when it was showing me down, what was it, $7 or $8? But you know what? Nothing violated my trade plan. And then eventually it went in my favor, and I made a really nice move on it. But I also just want to really reiterate right now that I'm not saying that the way I manage the trade is how you should manage it. The idea here is just to show you the idea of being able to practice managing a trade, however your strategy and system, dictates you should be managing it, when you should be putting in stop losses, when you should be adjusting stop losses, when you should be putting in limit orders. Like I said, that was just totally random on my part. But like I said, the idea here is this is how you would practice with real money. So nice little example there. Again, the idea here is not to make a boatload of money. The idea here is just to get good, solid practice with real money on the line. Now, full disclosure's sake, at this point in time, I have not done the computer part, so I don't know if I made money or I lost money, but what I can tell you is that there was definitely no stress. There was definitely no freaking out. What was very beneficial is just seeing those numbers fluctuate, seeing the P&L go up and down, because that's something you're going to need to get your mind used to. But yeah, as of now, don't know how it turned out. You'll know how it turned out. But one thing I will definitely guarantee is that when you do this the right way, when you meet Dave, hang out with Dave, he's going to make sure that you stay relaxed. He's going to make sure that you can think through a trade plan, that you can honor the trade plan, let the trade plan work without freaking out because you're seeing numbers that are fluctuating that, again, are real money. So hopefully this helps out. If you have any comments, questions, leave those down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. That's a very quick way to communicate. Hey, Clay, thanks for this. Please keep making more videos like this. And then finally, check out the channel as a whole. There's lots of other live trade videos on the channel where it's not me actually with Dave. It's just normal trading. So if you want to see more live trading, like I said, check out the playlist on the channel. Hopefully you decide to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. But yeah, get out there, meet Dave, start to hang out with Dave as a beginner, and he'll help you out quite a bit. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.